body sells out. And then mentally they're getting stressed out because I'm not getting any results. So what do? Switch the focus to food in the winter.
There's some birds walking around. So if we switch the focus to food, then we're making sure that we're not overeating as well. It's very easy to overeat in the winter because you slow down. So it's mindfully putting that energy into planning your food. That was an interesting bird.
Doesn't mean that we don't move in the winter, but we might need to alter our training plan and the time of day that we train. We still have quite a nice amount of sunshine coming through in the afternoon. Lunchtime walks, keep those bodies moving. I think something that we don't speak about a lot is actually the natural rhythm of the body that does put on 1 to 2 kilos during the winter of body fat as an insulation, which should naturally fall off in the spring. The problem is the cycle of our society at the moment is that body fat goes on because we're going with all the stodgy winter foods. Exercise does reduce in the winter. Everybody's like, "Brr, don't want to go outside," but then that doesn't come off in spring, and so it ends up being a compounding weight gain.
Especially where we are in Victoria, because as soon as spring comes around, you got spring carnivals and the horse racing starts, and as soon as there's a little bit of a nicer day, because it can get quite bleak here, people are out
boozing in the sun.
Boozing in the sun.
The time when you should be frolicking in the sun and dropping off that kilo or two.
You go straight
heavily on the booze, celebrating the sun.
And you have fallen to the traps of, well, it's winter time, therefore I drink this particular alcohol. Now it's summertime, so I look forward to drinking this particular alcohol. It's interesting to watch the way people behave through the seasons when it comes to celebrating and celebrating by themselves on the couch with a box of pizza.
Or having a bad day and drowning it out with alcohol and a box of pizza.
Yes.
I had a bad day, so I deserve to have this whole pizza to myself, which is that really something you deserve? I think you deserve to be healthy and well.
Yes. I have a client who, whenever this particular client has a bad day, just wants to go to McDonald's. I said, oh, how does that help you? But it does. It does help me.
Psychologically, in the moment. But then the backlash, a few hours later.
Yes.
Guts ache.
That's right.
Feel like shit.
Can't sleep.
And then that just makes the next day.
Still hungry. Can eat whatever those meal things are. Eat one of those and still be hungry.
It's because there's nothing to it.
There is nothing to it. Just junk in a bag. Junk in a greasy bag.
So, what do we focus on in the winter if we're not moving as much and we're focusing on our food? What are we doing with our food to increase the satiation? There's a few...
Doesn't come with a loaf of bread, because people think, I haven't had enough to eat, so I need to feel full, which is actually bloated and puffy, and will devour the loaves of bread. And
it took me a long time to learn that feeling full was actually bloat. And now when I acknowledge that I've had enough, it's a totally different feeling to what I thought full was before. And when you actually listen to your body, and chew enough for your brain to register that you're eating, the feeling of full is more a density in your stomach rather than a expansion feeling in your stomach. I think a lot of people don't know the difference.
Vegetarians, I think, in particular, that are carbitarians that will eat something and go, I didn't feel full, so I have to have a bread roll.
That being said, if I have a vegetarian dish that is all vegetables, like I can't have the beans and pulses because I'll turn into a wind tunnel, but if I have all of the vegetables, I have to eat about double the amount to feel that density feeling that I've had enough. But then it's gone. I'm hungry again an hour later. The protein really does give you satiation. And that's why I think the vegetarians seek for a lot more bread. And a lot of them, in my experience that I've worked with, filling up on bread
or pasta, lots of white rice,
naan, bread, roti. Oh yeah. So we need to make sure we have dense protein, but also think your body is in hibernation mode. So we sort of need to bring the dinner meal earlier. Your body is ready to digest during daylight. But obviously in the winter, the daylight comes later and the evening comes earlier. So too should your meals, really.
Yeah, it's can get a little bit tricky with busy lives, and this is optimal, or have a little bit more at lunchtime. So when dinner comes around, you're less likely to overindulge if you have enough during the day. So it's a bit of a switch with the season too.
So in summary, do we move more, eat less, or do we move strategically and eat strategically?
To get through winter without feeling, and this is to use a lot of my clients use, where they just feel meh after winter because of all of the stodginess that they're eating. So strategy, have a strategy, have a plan.
Have a plan, and more importantly, have accountability. If you don't have a health team or a health support network in your private life, then seek one out professionally, because it makes it very difficult to keep yourself on track when everybody around you is trying to not that they're trying to, but when everybody around you is derailing you because they're going into the stodgy winter stuff that's just not going to help you on the other end of winter.
I'm going to get eaten by an excavator.
Got an excavator coming to get us, so we'll leave you with that thought. Happy winter morning.